Let's sort of begin at the beginning in terms of one or two points I hope to cover tonight. A simple one, and again, I titled the blab "Simple Changes, Big Difference," and I want to point out just how simple some of the changes can be and help you sort of notice the big difference that can occur once you've made them. And one that is real simple is tone. And I really hadn't paid that much attention to it myself until one day I was recording someone and I was giving them instructions. And all of a sudden, once I played it back, all of a sudden I realized I didn't like how I sound. I was demanding and I wasn't very pleasant. So a lot of times before I get ready to do something, I have to make myself stop and say, now, what tone should I have? And I'll give you a good example. I was supposed to have received a check for services rendered, and I got the check, and it didn't include everything. So I huffed and puffed and stormed over to the phone and called. And then I thought, before I get the accountant on the phone, he's probably running as fast as he can. He's new on the job, and I knew that. He's new on the job, and 9 times out of 10, he's made a mistake. And if he's made a mistake with me, he's probably made a mistake with a number of people. So he's getting a lot of calls of people saying, where's the rest of my money? So when he got on the line, I said, hey, I noticed on my check that a portion was missing of my reimbursement, because I work with the Speakers Bureau because I do a number of trainings. And then I stopped and just basically said to him, I know you're probably running as fast as you can, and I appreciate the fact that you're doing the best that you can, and just keep up the good work, because he did get three quarters of the money that I was supposed to receive to me. I could tell he sort of gasped on the phone and said, I really appreciate that. And I could tell that he was happy to have just gotten someone to acknowledge the fact that he was trying as hard as he could and had just been thrown into the deep end of the pool as far as his job was concerned. And it just felt good for someone to acknowledge that. But tone has a lot to do with how others respond to you. So you may want to just work on tone. Another area, and we've all had it. Think about it. You're having a bad day, and it just seems like no matter what you do or no matter how much you try, nothing is going right. No one's willing to help you. It just seems like, no matter how much you try to right the boat, it just refuses to be righted. And then you fall into, this is a bad day, and I might as well just give up. All right, let me just shoot myself. If you just take a moment, despite all of the mess, all of the problems, all of the things that are going on, if you just take a moment and say, this hasn't been a great day, but I do have this to be thankful for, here's this little nugget of something that did go right for that particular day. Sometimes what I like to do is just, if there's nothing that you can grab hold to, I like to go outside and just sort of look at the sky and say, it's, there's a tree over there, or, it's a beautiful day. I'm glad I'm able to just sort of take a moment and calm my nerves. I'm glad I'm able to have this moment. Or if you're on the job, my break didn't come soon enough so I can just sort of catch my breath. It changes your whole attitude. It changes your thinking. Because I'm sort of reminded of a quote I saw a while back, and it sort of stuck with me. And in it, it said, "I thank my struggles for helping me discover my strengths." So no matter how hard the day has been, no matter what's been thrown at you, uh, you made it to 5 o'clock. That's something to be thankful for. So a lot of times your struggles help you find your strengths. And that's a big thing. It may not seem like it, but your struggles help you find your strengths. Because we all would like things to just go swimmingly. And a lot of times it's not in the cards for that particular day. But somehow you manage to think your way through it, to work your way through it, or to just get things done. And that's where that quote, really resonated for me, that your struggles help you find your strengths. So every now and then, give yourself a pat on the back, uh, that you made it through. No matter how hard, no matter how difficult, no matter how battered, how bruised you end up being, you did make it through. And that in and of itself is a strength. We focus so much on where we think we should be, where we think we ought to be, how much we think we should accomplish, that we forget every now and then to just sort of stop and look back at how far we have come. Uh, and once you do that little look over your shoulder, you do get the sense that, hey, I have come up, up a pretty far piece, or hey, I have gotten a good bit done despite all the distractions. Then another trick that I a lot of times will tell clients to use is having a positive place to go mentally. And I know that sounds a little odd, but we all daydream. And the good thing about daydreaming is that it does a lot for us physiologically. In other words, daydreaming sort of helps our body function. It calms us down. It gives us a moment of, and a lot of people sort of poo-poo daydreaming, but keep this in mind, that our unconscious, it records everything. And it doesn't know what you're imagining from reality. So the idea is to build in moments for daydreaming. And it could be a place. If there's some place that you've always gone and it was wonderful, or there was a wonderful vacation you took and you had a great time, and every time you think about it, you feel better, then that's your place to go. And when I say that's your place to go, I mean literally take a moment and just sort of imagine that you're back there, smell the smells, remember the drinks that you had, remember how you got drunk and fell down and woke up the next day and had a black eye or whatever. Those are the types of things that sort of make you smile and allows you to mentally reset. So a vacation, a happy event, have that as your mental place to go. When it seems like, things aren't going well, just take a moment and just allow yourself to imagine some things. Another mental place to go is if set a goal for yourself. And then once you set that goal, sort of imagine or ask yourself or tell yourself what you're going to do or how that's going to feel once you've accomplished that goal. So if I plan to sell so much, or I'm going to win this sales contest, what would happen if I won the sales contest and I won a vacation? What would I do on that vacation? See yourself snowboarding, or see yourself standing on this beautiful beach, or swimming in the water on this beautiful beach. So that when you find yourself feeling emotionally down, think about it in terms of, hey, if I do this, this is what's going to happen, and this is how it's going to feel, and this is what I hope to do. And a lot of times that in and of itself is that spur to keep you motivated and moving forward. So those are two ways of mentally having some place to go that's going to help you, again, reset that mental clock or reset that mental button that keeps you motivated. Another means is what I call calling in some karma points. Okay, so all before I focused on you, now it's the idea of maybe I should just do something for someone else. It's some little nice thing that you've done for someone else. You're going to be surprised how that comes back to you. So that random act of kindness thing, it gives you an emotional boost. So just like the person felt good in terms of receiving whatever it was, you in turn feel a lot better in terms of doing it. The same thing applies in the office. Maybe there's somebody you just can't stand, or you just can't get along with, or whatever. Surprise them. Surprise them. And I think you're really going to be surprised the response you get back. No, you're probably never going to be bosom buddies, but you've gained some karma points. Another way of doing that as well is to be a connector. Maybe again, karma points. Maybe that John is struggling with that report because he doesn't completely understand Excel. And you know that Mary Sue down the hall understands Excel. And you in turn can go to Mary Sue and say, I know John is working on this report and he's having all kinds of problems. Can you just take a moment and come down and just sort of maybe answer some questions for him? And she goes ahead and does it. Now, John feels a sense of obligation to you. And I'm not saying you need to do it to make the person feel obligated, but it does, in essence, come back to you. So that's always something to keep in mind.